The Long Road of Me, a chronicle of an immortal, invincible life. 0 to 10, the early years. I was born screaming like any other child, soft skin, blinking into light, clueless and fragile. Those early years were filled with scraped knees, childhood illnesses, and the illusion of safety my parents wrapped around me. They had no idea that no virus could truly harm me, no bone would ever break, no wound would ever fester. It wasn't immediately obvious, of course. I cried when I fell. I bled when I was cut. But the pain would vanish too fast. The bruises never lasted. The broken arm that was supposed to take 6 weeks healed in 3 days. Doctors muttered about rapid recovery. My parents called me a tough kid. I had no idea this would never change. 11 to 20. Discovery. Teenagers think they're invincible. I actually was. It started with a dare, jumping from the roof into the deep end of a pool. I missed, landed badly. The thud was sickening. I should have died. I didn't. I stood up while everyone screamed. Later, I put it to the test. Knives, fire, a car accident that should have turned me to paste. Nothing stuck. Nothing killed me. I stopped telling anyone after that. I couldn't die, and I wasn't aging. At 20, I still looked 17. That realization didn't make me feel powerful. It made me feel separate. While my friends dreamed of futures, college, jobs, marriages, I felt like a ghost pretending to play along. 21 to 50. Love, loss, and the first cracks. I fell in love, truly, madly, with someone who made me feel normal, someone who didn't care why I didn't age fast. Clara. We spent years together, decades. I watched her age gently, gracefully. She asked near the end, "Why don't you look any older?" I smiled and said, "I don't know." I wasn't ready to tell her the truth. She died of cancer at 47. I held her hand when the machine stopped beeping. I felt something in me collapse, a kind of naive hope that love could save me from myself. I didn't cry much. Not because I didn't care, but because the pain felt too big to come out. It stayed lodged inside, like a needle in the soul. After her funeral, I disappeared. 51 to 100. Drift. I became a shadow. I moved to a new city every few years. New names, new jobs. Never too deep, never too close. People started noticing, "You haven't aged a day," they'd say. So I changed faces before they could ask more. I read everything, traveled constantly. I saw the Berlin Wall fall, the towers in New York collapse, the rise of AI, the death of monarchs. I walked through history like a ghost in a parade. At some point, I stopped celebrating birthdays. I tried living as a monk, as a soldier, as a teacher. None of it stuck. Purpose never clung to me for long. 101 to 250, post-human. Technology leapt forward. Nanobots, brain-computer interfaces, artificial organs. People began living longer, but not like me. I still looked like a 30-year-old man, perfectly preserved, flawless, but emotionally frayed. Love became dangerous. They died, always. And I stayed, always. I began keeping journals, mountains of them, thousands of pages written, then burned. I couldn't hold on to the memories. My early life grew fuzzy. My parents' faces faded. I forgot the sound of Clara's voice. Emotionally, I felt flat, not sad, just muted, like my soul wore sunglasses. Occasionally, beauty broke through, a painting, a sunrise, the laughter of children. But more and more, I felt observant, not involved. 251 to 500, the machine age. The world changed faster than it ever had before. Cities floated. AI ran everything. Most humans lived in simulation chambers, their minds uploaded into engineered paradises. I chose to stay in the real world. I walked through empty cities while digital ghosts filled servers. Museums became temples, statues wore VR headsets. The planet slowed down. At one point, I tried to join them, upload myself, but the system couldn't process me. Whatever I am, immortal, invincible, it's incompatible with simulated life. My mind didn't transfer, it remained rooted. In this flesh, this eternal vessel, I became the last human who still remembered Earth as it was. 501 to 1000. Planetfall. Earth began to die. Slowly at first, rising oceans, rotting atmospheres, then faster, ecosystems collapsed. AI left for the stars. Colonies bloomed on Mars, Europa, and Titan. I stayed. I watched the last tree fall, the final dolphin die. The sky turned yellow and then pink with pollution. Then quiet. I was alone. I tried to speak aloud just to hear a voice. I sang songs I no longer remembered the meaning of. I shouted into caves. I walked barefoot across salt flats and slept in abandoned palaces. Time blurred. 100 years passed like a sigh. 1001 to 5000. Cosmos. I built a ship. Or rather, I directed machines to build it. I launched myself into space. No food, no air, didn't matter. I was invincible. I floated through the void like a message in a bottle. I watched stars give birth. I danced in Saturn's rings. I wept beside novas and sang lullabies to black holes. I tried to die in the sun's heart, but it didn't even singe me. Planets burned. Civilizations rose and fell. Languages bloomed and vanished. I saw more beauty than any mind should hold. I felt numb. 5,000, 1 to 10,000 plus. Endings and the silence. The stars began to dim. Entropy whispered its cold truth. Galaxies drifted apart. Time stretched thin. Gravity slowed. One day the last star flickered out. The universe grew quiet. I sat on a fragment of rock, watching nothing. I tried to scream. No sound came. I tore at my skin. No wounds opened. I hurled myself into the last black hole. It spit me back out. I was truly terrifyingly alone. The unfathomable future. Time no longer meant anything. I meditated. I dreamed with my eyes open. I invented gods and worshipped them for company. I imagined Clara sitting beside me, her hand in mine. I made up voices. I gave them names. I tried to forget. Then, at some point, I don't know when, I stopped thinking, and I just was.